So, we have a few minutes. It's your show. You are in charge. Nobody else. It's your responsibility. You're the one who is directing your life as a guitarist, even if you go to the greatest teacher in the world. Because what you do, what you work on, is going to make big, huge difference. Any teacher will tell you that. I've had a lot of students over the years. I have students who have gone nowhere, and I've had students who have blown with amazing progress, and I'm the same teacher. It isn't about me. Except that, I know the basic good things to say. I guess there are bad teachers, but assuming you've got one who's qualified, whatever, it's about you. It's your show. So, other questions or comments or whatever? We've got a few minutes left.
As far as recording, one of the things I like to do is to record my song and keep like one little timestamp, if you will, and then 6 months later see it. And it's a nice way to judge your own progress and
very good
see how far you've gone.
Yeah. Did everybody hear that? You did? Okay. Good point. I like that. Anybody else? Other questions?
It's I'm reminded of Picasso, even if he were entertaining the Queen of England, at 10 o'clock he disappeared. He just disappeared. What happened? We're having a good time, we're talking, antiques or whatever. He disappeared and went down to his sculpture studio because he was a night owl. And that was his work. He would always refer to it as his work. I have to go do my work. He didn't mean it in a pejorative fashion. Work for him was something to look forward to.
Exactly.
He would go down in there and he'd be there till 5 a.m. because this is when he worked. Now you're not going to see him until noon the next day, but he was down there till 5 a.m. And he was doing with sculpture what you're discussing here, which is to find the way. With these principles, but you have to find the way.
Let me say one other.
It's exciting.
Yeah, let me say one other final thing because I did want to make this point, and I think it's more peculiar to guitar than anything I've seen. Think about your genetics. With nails are all different. The length of your fingers are different. The length from here to here is different. Of your legs and the way they're sitting and everything, that kind of thing. You've seen lots of different guitarists play. Do they look the same? No, they don't. There's one with guitar up here and here. One uses these different apparatus kinds of things, footstools, different heights, different ways of where this is. And it's because every body literally is different. And on guitar, I think that the effect of that is different than almost any other instrument, much more than sitting up to a piano, for example. Much more. You can hold a bow, and the bow is basically the same bow hitting the string. But my hand is different from every other hand in this room, and your hand is different from every other hand in this room. You have, in large part, I think, especially on guitar, find your own way. Because of how different we are physically. It's a huge, major point. So, yeah.
I really like what you said about having a routine. Do you have any advice for, fitting in, things that aren't learning music, like being creative, like working on something for yourself? I found a lot of times that stuff isn't in my routine, and it comes, and when I do get to do it, something else in my life gives, sleep or homework or whatever it is.
You need to include everything. So, it's not just the grunt work or whatever. But yeah, and the musicality thing or the creative thing, the fun stuff, this is what we're all here for, it's fun. Because we enjoy this, it's the greatest thing in the world, music. Guitar is the greatest instrument, so it's the greatest, but you gotta, you just gotta time manage it. You put it in. I don't have any magic buttons there.
Could you
comment on just non-guitar related things like stretching, how to keep myself
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things.
age related or.
Yeah. Well, that's why warm up is so critical. Don't play real slow and neatly at first. One of the things I also do a lot of, I didn't mention this in here, but put a mirror in front of you. So sometimes you can see something better that way than from here.
But even before you get to the guitar,
Yeah.
just sort of stretching your fingers and arms and neck. Is that something that you?
I don't personally do a lot of that, but I usually have just done some walking and exercising before I practice anyway. So maybe not it. That's part of my routine. I get up, I do my walk and some exercising, eat breakfast, and I'm done. And so I mean that's what it
How about a
is.
couple things that take, let's say, when you practice in 2 hours, when do you know when you should just get up and go around the block?
Okay. Take breaks. I wouldn't do more than an hour without a break. And definitely take breaks. Rest. Again, it's not no pain, no gain. Don't push through anything. Rest and relax. There's a combination of being real warmed up and a little rested. Put those two things together, you'll have your best playing. Too much one way or the other, not going to be the best.
And during that practice session, what, like, the order of, like, when should you practice the difficult pieces or the difficult work before, like, let's say the mechanics or before you do a repertoire somewhere in between? Like, I tend to do some mechanics and scales and work on the meat of what I'm working on. I get kind of paper down something
Yeah.
more familiar.
As long as you feel like you're in good shape by the time you get to the harder things. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do it like
Yeah.
immediately after the one on the scale, so it's still kind of fresh.
And it's a little easier in the hotter weather, hotter times of year, but winter, it's tough. It's harder every year for me. Anyway. But
Okay,
should we be stopping or?
It's always an exciting conversation.
Yeah.
And it's never finished.
There's nothing more important. It's about how you're going to progress. And like I said, you're the one in charge.
Thank you, Michael.